This is Sarit. This is Sarit from Oz. It's very nice to see everyone here. Thank you for participating. I will try I'm trying to begin right now. I would like to know if you can hear me well, and if there's anything I need to know before I begin. And if not, I'll just start, and as we go along, you can ask any questions or ask for our help. I will mention that there is a supporting user, except for me and Romy, who will also, of course, take part in this presentation. So if you need any help, you can let us know. I'll show you in a minute how, and the supporter will help you. Okay, here you can see Lilach, the supporter, wrote, moderator, hello everyone. She will help you. So let's begin. We've decided and also offered our knowledge and our experience in social media. This is one of the work packages and one of the tasks we have in the Nanochannels project. And we wanted to share our knowledge with you using this webinar, and also sharing the ways you can use, and we can all use social media in Nanochannels. Okay. Before we begin, I would like to show you a short, just a short orientation slide. It will let you know how you can easily use this virtual room to communicate and to get support you need for your questions. You can see the list of participants on the left. The list of the participants can show you the users who are currently connected to the webinar. You can use it to make sure you're still connected, and if you need, you can see who you can make contact with during this class. You can use the feedback tools. During the presentation, we will ask you questions, and you can also share your feedback. You can do this by the toolbar you have, called the feedback toolbar. You can raise your hand using the hand icon if you have a question or a comment. You can provide feedback to our questions, such as clapping, smiling, or anything else you see on the toolbar. And you can also answer yes or no questions using the check mark and the X mark. Okay. If you have any questions so far, you can write them in the chat window, okay? Or during the presentation, you can write them in the chat window, which I can see most of you already used. All you need to do is write your question or your comment, and everyone will see it. Okay? You can also use the microphone you had to ask questions with your voice. What you need to do is click on the audio button on the bottom of this page. We can't hear you unless you click on it. So if you want to say anything, please click on it. We can hear you, and when you finish, please click on it again, so that we don't continue to hear what you're saying. So it doesn't interrupt the rest of the class. Okay. If anything is understood so far, please mark V next to the feedback window, so I can know you all heard me and everything is okay. Oh, okay, great. Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, so we'll continue. We're moving on to Romy. Romy will introduce the beginning of this presentation, and good luck. Thank you.
Hi everyone, sorry for the delay. There seemed to be some problem with the microphone and I'm back. This is Romy. The agenda for today, first we are going to do some introduction to social media. Then we are going to talk about social media and nano channels. Then Sarit will give an introduction about social networks in Europe and online and leading social networks. We will conclude with online communities, practices, and your tips and additions to what we have to present here. Internet usage and habits change a lot over the last decade. Traditionally, Internet was owned by a few, and the mass audience was merely a consumer of the information. The information was centralized. An organization has formed an Internet site, and all the information about it existed in one place. Today, the information is decentralized. People have access to uploading content and comments through social networks, and the information about an organization is spreading through the web in different platforms and websites. That means that the organization does no longer have a full control over the information. Previously, there was one-way communication. The organization or project spread its messages and the audience consumed it. Today, the organization and the target audience engage in a mutual conversation and share information in both directions. When we're talking about social media, what is social media referred to? Social media, or the Web 2.0 term that you may have heard also, is used to describe websites and online services that allow the user to independently upload and share content, rather than just retrieve information in a passive way. Social media platforms are social networks, blogs, discussion groups, Wikipedia, online video sites, photo sites like Flickr, even comments on normal websites. Social media have some unique characteristics. Participation, the user actively participates in the online activity. The communication is open. People interact in groups, either by their social status, interests, location, and else. So they interact in a community. All platforms are linked. Information flows from one platform to another. One piece of information leads to the next, and the social platforms interact with each other. And the last point I want to talk about is the lack of hierarchy, and it's very important to our work. On the internet and on social networks, everyone's an expert. People treat information as reliable based on new criteria. They trust information coming from their friends rather than former experts, and their community leaders are now the authority figures. This issue is very important where we're looking to spread reliable information about nanotechnology. Before I go on, I would like to make sure that everyone's on board and that you hear me well. Please mark the check if you can hear well, or raise your hand if you have any question. Thank you very much for participating. And for the smiley, Eliana. Social media and nano channels. Social media can contribute in knowledge processing. As you know, in order to learn, it's not enough to hear the new information just once. If any of you have learned a new language, you know that learning a new word doesn't mean you acquire it and you actually know how to use it after one time. In social networks, people can encounter information on a regular basis and interact with it with what promotes the learning process and acquiring of knowledge. Social media can also help distribute content to a wide variety of people and networks. Sarit will later on develop that note. And moreover, people trust their friends, and they are more open to receive new information coming from their group or community, as we previously mentioned. When talking about social media and your work packages, it can also support your work in several ways. Before an activity, for example, before you issue a supplement, before you organize a live event, social media can help you identify the audience needs and adjust the editorial content. It can help you promote events and create a buzz and make people wait and anticipate the activity you're about to have. During the activity, you can use social networks to broadcast it live to different places. You can get real-time feedback from people that are not on the spot right now and can encourage remote participation. That means that any event, any activity can reach out to much more people than the actual people present in a physical location. After the activity, social media can help you distribute your content that is published in The Guardian or in Mundo or in other places can reach out to many more people. It can also create a discussion platform for printed material. And of course, it can help us get audience feedback after the activity is finished, after the information was brought out. Before we go on, I would like to ask you if you have any questions. If you have any questions, please raise your hand. If you're okay, please check the check mark. Thank you very much for checking. We would also like to know if you have any questions about your work packages or any additions regarding what we've just said. Okay, so I will now move over to Sarit, who will speak about social networking in Europe.
Okay, hello again everyone, this is Sarit. We're moving on to the social networking section of our presentation. We wanted to get you acquainted with the state of social networking in Europe currently, and also, I think someone joined and we can hear them now. Just a second, please. Okay, I think, okay, that's okay. I'll continue now. We wanted to get you acquainted with the state of social networking in Europe, and to allow you to learn more about specific social networks that could prove to be important in the Nanochannels project. The first thing we would like to show you is this slide, which I hope you can see. I hope you can see it well. I will explain what you're looking at right now. This slide shows you the social media use and popular social networks in Europe as of December 2008. This was created by Edelman Digital, which is a digital research company, and they released this just 4 months ago. What you can see here is the comparison of social media services and uses across Europe by European users. This map shows the increasing dominance of Facebook in most parts, but not all of the European markets. You can see that most of the European countries are colored in blue. This blue color shows the most popular social network in that country, which in most cases is Facebook. We have a few countries, just very few, that the most popular social network is not Facebook, but a local social network. We have Hives in the Netherlands, we have vKontakte in Russia, and we have, and you have to forgive me because I don't speak Polish, we have Nasza Klasa in Poland. This could be a temporary situation, although those networks are very strong right now, the local networks. In the future, this also can be changed and be quite different, and Facebook would be the most popular social network in these countries. According to this slide, the most popular uses of social networking sites is reading and writing blogs, sharing photos, using social networking sites such as Facebook, etc., and watching videos. Okay, this was just the background. and we'll also give you some background knowledge regarding the social networks we're going to be hearing about in the next few minutes. Do you have any questions or perhaps comments that you would like to share from your knowledge and your acquaintance with social networks in Europe? We would love to hear from you. There's anyone who would like to comment? Joe would like to comment. Please feel free by raising your hand. Okay. Hi, Joe. We can hear you.
Hi. Great.
Hi, Joe.
Sorry, hi. I just can't see the bottom countries: Portugal, Spain, Switzerland, Germany, Italy, Austria. Maybe you could move the screen up or something.
We'll try.
Is that possible? Yeah. Maybe not. Maybe we can just look at it later if you send around the slides.
I will give me just a minute if anyone else has any questions or comments, and in the meantime I will try to fix it, and if not I can send you the slides, and we also have a recorded session of this presentation. So I can provide it later if I can't, make it work right now. Is that okay? Mm-hmm. Joe? Okay, so that was a little complicated, but the slide is from December 2010. Okay, so I'm going to continue. No one has any questions. Please feel free to stop me if you need to add anything. So let's continue to the first social network site we are going to talk about today, and it's of course Facebook. Facebook has created an amazing revolution in the last couple of years. Okay. And I'm sure you've all at least heard of Facebook, if not joined it at some level or another. What is Facebook? Facebook is a social network, of course. It allows each user to communicate and have interaction with other friends, family, and other members of this network. It is currently the world's largest networking site. It has more than 60 million users. That's an amazing number, and it's growing very fast and very quickly. The numbers are raised every day. The average Facebook users, which is me and you and anyone else, creates 90 pieces of content each month. That means that each month you are publishing 90 pictures, status updates, videos, etc. Facebook is currently used by people, companies, and organizations as a communication tool. This is a revolution that Facebook implemented through time. It was originally used by students, and it's later publisher realized its potential, and it's currently used by many, many organizations and companies. So why Facebook? And by asking why Facebook, we're actually asking why should we use Facebook as one of the platforms for nanochannels. First of all, it's currently the most popular and effective social network. It's the biggest social network in Europe and around the world. And when we want to reach a mass of people, it's quite a common knowledge today that Facebook can help you reach a large amount of people by using Facebook today. It has a high virality using likes and sharing features. I would like to add that we are aware to the fact that virality is not a proper word, but this is the way it's used regarding the viral effect that Facebook is creating. Whenever you click on a like button or share your information on Facebook, It keeps moving forward inside Facebook between users, and that's creating a viral effect. So the sharing features and the like button allow information to move very quickly and become very viral. Creating awareness and discussion using Facebook pages and groups. I will demonstrate a quick example in the next few minutes. I wanted to add that, okay, no, I'll do that in a minute. I'm sorry. Okay. One of the most common questions people have regarding Facebook is the difference between a Facebook profile, a Facebook group, and a Facebook page. And I can see, I'm sorry, Sarah needs help? Okay, thank you. I would like to shortly explain the difference between the three so you can have a better understanding of how Facebook works. The Facebook profile is for private use. It represents an individual. It should be used by only one person per profile, or the other way around. And it should not be used for marketing purposes. The Facebook page, which I will demonstrate in just a minute, is used for the workplace. It's for commercial promotions and activities. It should be used by companies, commercial companies, or organizations. And it allows a few options that can provide you with some very attractive commercial components, such as creating small mini sites, and really can help you encourage sales and getting leads, etc., through a Facebook page. When you are connected to a Facebook page, you are called a fan. You basically like a page, but you actually click on a like button to join it. I would like to demonstrate a short, just a nice Facebook page. Just a second, please. We're moving on to watching a page. A page should be shown on your screen right now. Okay. Okay. So what we're seeing right now is a Greenpeace USA Facebook page, which I chose because it has some very nice features. Okay, please check your check sign if you can see the page, because we've moved to a different screen. I just want to make sure you can see it with me. Thank you. Thank you very much. What we can see right now is a Facebook page created by the Greenpeace USA organization, which provides information to people who are interested in the Greenpeace activity. What we need to do, if I'm interested in the Greenpeace page and I would like to get content updates regularly every time they publish a new story, I would like to join the page and basically like it. I click on the like button. Oh, see, now now we have a problem. It doesn't interrupt my demonstration. I click on the like button, and from the moment I do that, I can basically see every post they update, every story they update. And we also have many other options that allow the page manager to share information such as a Get Involved page that contains extra information that can be created as needed. We can create, we can add pictures, we can add text, you can add a sign-up page for joining a newsletter, etc. We can post photos and YouTube videos, and it's a very good platform to spread information. We can see on the left that the number of people or fans who are following this page is a big number, meaning that every update from this page is spread to 83,000 people, and that's a lot of exposure. Okay, let's go back to the presentation. We also have another feature called a Facebook group. It's basically a club or community for like-minded people. Users are equal, meaning there is no organization or company running the show on a group. It allows discussion among the members, and we can also set it to be a closed group, meaning only invited people can see it. Okay. Before I move on, does anyone have any questions regarding Facebook? If you would like to comment or share any tip or question regarding nanochannels on Facebook? Okay. Yes. Okay. Louisa. Yes. Okay, Louisa, you can click on the microphone icon.
Yes, I'm here. I wanted to ask you something. Is there the possibility, like if you have a profile or a page, then to create like a subgroup within that? Let's say if you have a group of 100 friends, and then is it possible to create a subgroup so that, for instance, if you want to send a message, it goes only to this subgroup and not to everybody? I don't know if that makes any sense.
Hi, Louisa. It makes great sense. Unfortunately, it's currently not possible. The page is only possible to have one group of people and no subgroup, unfortunately, right now. So the answer is currently no. That's not our fault, that's Facebook's fault. So I hope I answered your questions. Okay, so if no one has another question, thank you, Luisa. I would like to move on. Okay, we move on to Twitter. Twitter is also an extremely popular social network around the world. It's what we call a microblogging platform. It allows you to publish updates containing up to 140 characters long. Meaning you are limited with the status or the post you can update or upload each time. Microblogging means sharing your life, but in a very short form of text. And many people say the limitation of 140 characters makes you creative. So that's an argument you can consider. Status updates on Twitter are called tweets, just so you know the term. And unlike Facebook, your friends or the people who are connected to you are called followers because they follow your updates and they follow your activity. A tweet can be sent to Twitter via the Twitter website, via an SMS from a phone, smartphone, etc. There are many ways to access Twitter. So why are we talking about Twitter? It allows you or anyone else to update many people at once with the same content very easily. It allows you to ask questions, ask for advice, ask for directions or feedback. You can reach people, just another addition for me, you can reach people that you are not specifically familiar with, and they can also sometimes provide very good help or feedback from people you aren't necessarily acquainted with. Twitter can allow you to drive awareness to a topic. A good example is the Iran riots, which happened about a year or a year and a half ago. The Iranians used Twitter to organize a riot, and that helped raise the awareness to the Iran topic using Twitter. It can also allow you to discover real-time trends. There are very good search tools that can show you the most talked about topics on Twitter currently right now in real time, and it can help you notice if a topic is raising any awareness or any discussion at the moment. It also helps you create virality. It has the ability to move or forward the discussions and topics very quickly among users. Twitter users use a number of functions to create this virality. For example, you can search for keywords from the Twitter homepage, and as I mentioned, you get real-time results. There is a feature called retweet, or as we use it, we write RT, and that's basically using Twitter to forward the message, like you forward an email on your email account to other people. When you want to spread the message regarding that email, you can retweet or basically forward important tweets to create virality. There's also a use for something called hashtag, which is basically the character you're seeing at the beginning of the word hashtag, which is used to categorize a tweet or to add a keyword to it by using the hashtag sign. That allows you to create attention or to drag attention to your tweet by using a specific keyword. So Twitter and nano channels, how can Twitter be of help to nano channels? It can help us, the partners, spreading any piece of information regarding the nano channels project. If you have any links to articles, videos, polls, etc., we can utilize Twitter and use it as an engine to pass these links and information onwards among Twitter users. It can allow us to virally spread questions and dilemmas throughout the lay public, which is using Twitter for its everyday use. And it can also help us to search for relevant keywords and existing discussions in real time. Okay, that's all for Twitter. If you have any questions or suggestions, we would love to hear from you right now regarding Twitter. Okay, no questions. Thank you. We move on to a different kind of social network, and that's LinkedIn. Did anyone here ever use LinkedIn or ever participated in a group, discussion group, etc. on LinkedIn? Can you check for yes or X for no? Okay. Thank you for your response. I can see some X's, and that's interesting. Okay, thank you. So I'll move on. Okay, so LinkedIn is what is called or deemed as the professional social network. It's used for managing your professional connections. Unlike Facebook's personal connections, your family and your friends. Basically, the first basic use in LinkedIn is to create a sort of CV, okay, a sort of curriculum vitae. I'm sorry, how do you say that? Okay, I already said it. It's your CV. Basically, you create your own CV and you publish it on the web, and connections and people who are interested in your career, or it allows you to perform a job search, etc. You can find many professional people on these social networks. There are also many, not many, there are European competitors. There's one called Zing in German, and there's one called Viadeo, which are known to be competitors in the European market. So why LinkedIn? Why are you mentioning LinkedIn? LinkedIn is used to communicate using interest discussion groups. One of the most useful and used features is actually the discussion groups. If you are an expert in one field or another, it's very important to join in this discussion group and show your expertise. This can allow a person to stand out and be perceived as an expert. It can also allow us to search and find professionals and invite them to discussions all around the web. And we can ask professional questions and get professional answers from experts who are on LinkedIn. So how can we use LinkedIn on nano channels? We can use it to search and find experts with the talent, experience, and aligned interest in nanotechnology. And we can also create nanotechnology discussion groups and invite nanotechnology experts to participate in the different activities we create and manage all throughout the nanochannels project. Any questions or perhaps tips? No? Yes? Yes, Luisa. Oh. Luisa,
yes,
you can,
yes, sorry,
you can speak now.
I was clicking a button. You said that you can ask questions to experts, but how can I say this? Because everybody declares its own expertise and puts a CV. So where is the control system? Is it because people kind of approve one other's expertise, or because somebody could join in saying that they're experts in something, but there's no control? Do you know what I mean?
That's a good question, Louisa. Thank you. One of the most important and useful features in LinkedIn is the fact that you can see a very professional and very precise professional details regarding that person. So if you are in interaction with people who are presenting themselves as professionals, it's very easy to check their background and their experience, their work experience, and realize whether or not there is the adequate background to treat them as experts. That's one way of using it. Another way is using what we call the community's knowledge. Basically, you can, this is a question, an answer from the top of my head. If you see the community's reaction to this person's answers, you can see whether or not the reactions are positive or negative, and whether or not his answers are usually accepted or not, and that could also give you a great indication regarding his expertise. I hope that answers your question. This is also something that...
Yeah, that makes sense. Thank you.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Okay. So let's move on. Is there any other question before I move on? Okay. No problem. So we're moving on to YouTube, which is another great big social networking site. It's also one of the older ones. Almost everyone is very familiar with it. YouTube is a video sharing website on which users can upload, share, and view videos. It's the most popular social network around the world after Facebook, and it's streaming more than 100 million videos a day. That's an extreme amount of videos and users, of course. It has a very noted European competitor. It's called Dailymotion, and it's been a competitor for a few years. So why are we talking about YouTube? YouTube is very easy to use, and in fact it's one of the reasons for it being so popular. As quick registration allows you to share your videos very quickly with family and friends. It creates high search engine visibility. This means that Search engine visibility actually means where you show up in the mostly Google search results. And videos that are popular or on YouTube, show up very quickly on high search engine results, and that's a very good visibility on search engines. It also allows spreading videos to millions of users. One of the biggest wishes of commercial companies is to create a viral video that is so viral that everyone around the world knows it. And that could bring in a lot of business and bring in a lot of awareness to topics. There's a very nice tool called the YouTube annotations. It allows you to add extra information using annotations that can add a link on the video itself and add extra information such as short text, etc. to the video. We can use this feature on Nano Channels videos. So why YouTube and Nano Channels? Students and partners can easily upload the movies and videos they've created. It allows branded channels, meaning we can create a Nano Channels channel on YouTube and upload all specific Nano Channels videos there. And we can increase Nano Channels virality by embedding. Embedding is basically showing the video on different websites and blogs. So we can embed and annotate and basically create very high virality using YouTube. Okay, any questions regarding YouTube? Okay. This slide shows you one of the most common and important feature or behavior of a social network. This demonstrates the desired and much mentioned virality effect that is created using social networks. What we see in this slide is the user who currently wants to share a piece of information, such as a video or an article or anything else. He spreads around this piece of information to the social networking sites on which his friends are following him. Let's say he posted a video on YouTube and also posted a video on Facebook and on Twitter and on his blog. His followers and his friends on these social networks can see this piece of information, and if they liked it and if it's important to them, they will share it forward from here to here, and so on. We get a viral effect, creating one person reaching sometimes even millions of persons with this little piece of information. And that is a very important part of working in social media, and that is something I think we would all like to get as an end result. Okay, so my part is finished right now. We're going back to Romy, who will continue the rest of this presentation. Thank you very much, and if you have any questions for what we've heard so far, please let me know, and I would love to answer your questions. Thank you.
Okay, I see this is Romy, and I see we have some raised. No, what is that? Okay. Okay, sorry for the delay. We would like to talk a bit about work package work package 4. In this project, work package 4 has a few roles. First, create a discussion platforms in popular social networks that Sarit mentioned, and content sites that would allow the lay public to discuss nanotechnology and engage in an online conversation, which is one of our goals. Talk about nanotechnology. We would like to identify existing groups which are already successful in creating dialogue and motivate them, include them as part of this project. We would like to encourage linkage between multiple platforms and make sure there's a traffic flow between various content bases, the project portal, social networks, partner websites, etc. We would be happy to consult the other work packages in any social media aspects of their work. We will manage community leaders in social media platforms, and we will of course moderate the content to make sure it's suitable for the project and analyze perception and expressed opinions. We would like to talk a bit about online communities practices, because we have spoken about making new bases and new platforms in social networks, and about virality, and about all the advantages that we can benefit from this spreading around. But when we establish an online community, we have some responsibilities, and we have to deal with the community behavior, and that also raises some challenges. So when moderating an online community, we have to know how to deal with various behaviors and digital culture habits in order to successfully lead the community to a productive discussion. So we would like to share some guidelines and conclusions about community management. First, be open and welcoming. Make sure to respond quickly to users' questions and comments. Social media interactions is quick, and waiting 3 days, for example, for a reply is not accepted as attentive behavior. At the same time, let the conversation flow without interfering. You want the community members to be independent, to take part in an ongoing discussion without being directed or dependent on the community managers. Another very important issue is to reward contributors. In each community, there are a few leading figures who raise new discussions, highly interact, and move the community forward. Make sure to reward them in order to keep their motivation and create loyalty. They are important for you. They are important in order to keep the community going. You can reward them by reputation, by special ranks that give them special benefits, or supporting them by a comment, by positive comment. And that leads me to another aspect, which is positive feedback. Encourage the community to be open to newcomers and promote a positive atmosphere by example. Avoid negative replies or sarcastic remarks, but nurture the good by being positive and supportive in reply to desired behavior. Up to now, if you can hear me well and if everything is okay, please check the check mark. If you have any question, raise your hand. Okay, thank you for checking. I would also like to talk a bit about abuse management. In each community, there are people who want to abuse and to interfere. They are often named as trolls in the internet. They say things just to spite. They are offensive. They sometimes spam the community, and they do harmful things that interfere with your goals. The best thing to do is not to reward them with special attention. If you give them special attention, they feed by it. Do not engage in a public argument with them. They are fed by attention, and when there's no attention, they will fade and leave. So the best thing is to keep all the interaction with them private, not to publicly engage with them, and to encourage the entire community not to pay attention and feed them with attention to their wrongful activity. Before we conclude, we would like to give a moment and give you an opportunity to share your tips. Some of you manage online communities or social media platforms. Some of you have some experience, and if you would like to share it, we'll be happy. I think everybody here will be happy to learn. So if someone would like to share their information, please raise your hand so we can give you the opportunity to speak. If you're awake, just check the check mark. Okay, who raised his hand? Okay, Louisa, I can see that. I'll give you the...
Sorry, so it's me.
Okay. Louisa, great, we love you.
No, I actually... first of all, you know, when you said, I think this webinar is so interesting for me because I don't understand actually social networks very well. So this is really interesting, and I think it's very interesting what you said, that the community members, they have to feel independent, and they should not feel that they're depending from, let's say, a leader or somebody. But then you also mentioned that there is a moderation, so that there is in the case of nano channels. Actually, I guess you or somebody from Art will do some moderation. So where is the balance there? So how do you moderate without making the community feel that you're actually interfering? That's one question. Maybe you want to answer that before I comment. No?
Okay, so Lisa, thank you for your question. I think this is something that doesn't have a clear answer, but you have to learn by each community. You are right. The community, there should be some moderation. We should make sure that the community deals with the questions we are interested in, that they manage discussion about nanotechnology, that they're not cursing each other or saying bad words or treating each other wrongfully or doing some things that are not related to the reason that we are all in the same group. At the same time, it is important to encourage independent behavior. And sometimes the moderation can be done behind the scenes by promoting the leaders to take action while publicly you stay silent. And sometimes the moderation is done after content has been published, just to make sure that nothing wrong was published. In our role in Work Package 4, we plan to have students and other people as community leaders, because we want them to be interacting with their school members and with their friends and with their communities. And they will be better ambassadors than us, which are not known to them, and we don't share mutual communication or expression. So what we would like to do is have people from the lay public, students or researchers or people who are interested in nanotechnology that will manage or will contribute, highly contribute to existing and new platforms. And in the same time, we will do the monitoring to make sure that the community is going on well. And I would also like to address Leslie's comment about Think. Of course, if there are other social networks or related sites that are popular in the European countries that participate in this project, we would love to learn more about it and to be able to use them. And we just focused on some of the major and leading social networks in the world. Of course, there are others, and we will appreciate any feedback. Leslie, maybe you can share. I'll give you the ability to speak right now. Okay, no, that's not a thing. Leslie, maybe if you're online, you can share with us with your voice about your experience with Think or others. I see everyone can read Leslie's comment in the chat below the participant list. Leslie, if you want to speak, you can also speak with the microphone. You have the permission to do that. And if you... Okay, great.
Hello, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Leslie, Leslie, we can hear you. Go on.
Okay, right, excellent. Yeah, I use Tint quite a lot. For example, if I've got a webinar that's targeting a particular regional community, then you can post a blog and that automatically goes to all the members, and they don't have to go onto the site to find out about any communication. It goes through your email if you want it to. So any blogs, any events, anything like that, all the members are automatically notified, or you can just restrict it to your particular group. So, for example, I've created a Nano Africa group. There's also a Nano India group, but we could have a Nano Channels group, whatever. It's more for students, older students, and researchers rather than kind of SMEs and business stakeholders. But it is a pretty good network. It's very dynamic, very active. So we found it very useful for a lot of our projects.
Great. So Leslie, great. This is a very valuable tip for us, and we will use it. If there is anyone else who would like to share their tips and their additions, we will be happy to hear. If so, please raise your hand. Okay, Yoel, you can speak. Yoel, please
everybody?
check the... Oh, yeah.
Hi, everybody. You know that Facebook is used a lot, but by young people, as Romy mentioned. And I started to think and to share some ideas with Romy that maybe with some of the nano-use schools, the alumni kids who will be participating writing to the supplements in the social media, we will be able to use their experience and their involvement in Facebook to create a network of Facebooks with which the debate and the issues will be discussed there. I think maybe with some of the young journalists, we might find some of a group of young students who will be our Nano Channel's Facebook leaders, who can really promote and ask their friends, because some of them have hundreds of Facebook friends, and with the viral effect, we might get to a wide range of students. Of course, it should be done in all 6 languages of the project, but I think it can be an idea that if you can promote a youngster Facebook group for this task.
I think Yoel was actually completing what we were talking about with Louisa, and the ability to moderate on one hand, but on the other hand, let the actual people engage in their activity and lead it. So thank you for your comment. Louisa, if I've answered your previous question, please check the checkbox so I'll know that you don't have any further questions. And if anyone else would like to share, please raise your hand in the icon. Okay, last chance to participate. Raise your hand before we conclude. Okay, I'll take it as no more questions. Thank you for sharing your tips. They are very valuable. So, in conclusion, what I think we've heard today is that social media is an open media which includes both opportunities and challenges. On one hand, it supports viral distribution and enables discussion with the target audience. On the other hand, it leaves us with less control over the final outcome compared to traditional media. And we just spoke about it in abuse management in decentralized sessions. Social media is valuable as an additional media channel, and it's supplementary to the real-world activity. It allows us to get a constant feedback about nanotechnology attitudes and perceptions. And in order to successfully manage an online activity, we should be alert and ready to deal with the social media's special characteristics. Before we say the final goodbye, we would like to ask you to take a minute and to fill our short survey that will be showing on your screen in a second. You can see it now. It's a short survey just to make sure that we're to understand how efficient was it for you today. Thank you very much for participating, and this session will also be was recorded in order for further observing later. Thank you very much from Sarit and for myself. I see there's a raising a no, it's not raising a hand, it's clapping. I'm getting mixed up every time. So thank you very much, and fill our questionnaire. If you have any more questions about social media from now on until the end of the project, you can always contact us by mail, Sarit and Romy. Our emails are in the bottom of the questionnaire as well. Thank you very much.